Alright, so I know you're looking to do a conversion to LED tubes, is that correct?
Yeah.
And I know there's probably a lot of questions around that, and there's a lot of options. So let's start with the basics, okay?
Okay.
So there's two types of LED tubes, okay? There's a plug and play, which we'll talk about first, and there's a bypass, we'll talk about that second, okay? So plug and play is typically the most common, most ones you see in stores or offered. The reason being is it's the easiest to do, okay? What a plug and play means is you've already got fluorescent tubes in the fixture. All you have to do literally is take those fluorescent tubes out, put the LEDs in, walk away, and everybody's gonna love it.
Okay.
Pretty simple, plug and play, okay? Now the bypass side of things, do you understand what that means?
I do not.
Okay, let's go to the basics on that one. So with any working fixture, there's two working parts, a ballast and the tube. In this case, it's gonna be the fluorescent tube existing, okay? Bypass meaning you're gonna eliminate one of those working parts, and that's the ballast. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put the power directly to the sockets, bypassing the ballast.
Okay.
Okay. Now there's two different styles of that. I'll explain the differences. Okay. There's a single-ended, meaning you're putting power to one end of the socket, and there's a double-ended, meaning you're putting power to one end, or excuse me, power on that end, neutral on this end. Kind of like the plug and play. Okay. So the most common that you see is called the double-ended wiring. Reason being is the fluorescent tubes of the fixture is already pre-wired that way. So you just eliminate the ballast, put the bypass tube in there, same concept, okay? The one that's a little more challenging, where fixtures are not essentially pre-wired this way, is the single-ended, meaning you have power on one end and neutral on the other end, and the other end's just dead. Okay, so there's a couple different options there, but to make it easy, if you go the bypass route, do the double-ended, all you're doing is a little bit of rewiring, and you can use the same sockets.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. The difference between a shunted versus a non-shunted socket, right? And remember me telling you about the single-ended versus double-ended wiring, right? And this is going to explain it. You sometimes may not see this on the back of the fixture, but this is how it works, okay? When you have an existing fluorescent fixture, they all have shunted sockets on it, meaning you have one wire on this side and no wire availability on this side, okay? When you go to a single-ended LED tube with the bypass, you need what they call non-shunted sockets, meaning you're going to put the power wire on one side and the neutral wire on the other, meaning non-shunted. So you have one wire on each side, the other end of the fixture is going to be completely dead. All right, so in conclusion, hopefully you learned a few things today through this education, and kind of recap what we talked about a little bit. So to make it easier on yourself, if you want the easiest route, go with the plug and play tube. Again, meaning you take the fluorescent out, you put the LED tube in, walk away, enjoy your movie, enjoy whatever you need to do.
I can do that all by myself?
All by yourself, no electrician needed, okay? Now, the downside of that, like we talked about, is you still have those two working parts, right? The ballast and the tube. If you want to eliminate one of those, the easiest option for you to go with is going to be that double-ended wiring, because that's how your fixture is already wired, right? A little bit more work involved. Now, you also have that single-ended. Remember I was talking about that because of the sockets?
Yep.
Where that's going to require a little bit more work. Few things at that point, you probably want to bring a licensed electrician or a good buddy that knows what he may be doing as well.
So I have the possibility of making a mistake?
Correct. So, in conclusion, double-ended wiring is going to be your easiest. Plug and play is going to be easier, but hopefully through this video, you're able to make a good decision for your next purchase.
All right. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.